everyone, how's it going? Pretty good, right? I am Putri Alfida Husna, majoring Mathematics Education from Class C 2019. In this video, we're going to learn about circle. Before we can understand about circle, we need to know what are the learning objectives. First, to identify some parts of the circle, such as center, chord, diameter, radius, arch, chord, epitome, segment, and sector. And to find the circumference and the area of the circle using formulas. When we think of circles, the very first thing that comes to our mind is round shape. Many things in our daily have a circular surface. For example, plate, bottle, cape, clock, compass, orange, ball, recite, rubber bracelet, candy, bracelet, button, a watermelon, a globe, a fan, mirror, pizza, duct tape, table, hot lid, fry pan, a donut, lenses of glasses, chain ring, and well. We were able to see circle in sports, such as rings of the logo of SEA Games, hula hoop, basketball, the basketball rings, baseball, football, and billiard ball. So, what is circle? A circle is the set of all points in a plant at a given distance or radius from a given point or center in the plant. A circle can be drawn with the help of a circular object. For example, a circle drawn with the help of a coin. The part of a circle are center, radius, diameter, arch, chord, epitome, segment, and sector. Parameters of a circle like area and circumference has their own formulas. Things like radius, diameter, circumference, and also area are terms that help us to keep track of the various measurements of a circle. So now, let's take a look what each this part and measurement represent. First, circle and center of a circle. A circle is a closed curve consisting of all points in a plane which are at the same distance, or we can call it equidistant, from a fixed point inside it. This fixed point or equidistant inside a circle is called center. A circle has one and only one center. It is named by its center, circle O. Second, radius. Here is a circle and a line segment that joins any points on the circle. To its center, it's called a radius. The plural of radius of a circle are equal in length. Infinite number of radius can be drawn in a circle. And radius of this circle is OK, OL, OM, and ON. Third, diameter. A line segment that connects two points on the circle and passes through the center of the circle is called a diameter. Infinite number of diameters can be drawn in a circle. As a radius of a circle are equal in length. Its diameters too are equal in length. Diameter of the circle is AB and PQ. Radius OP equals radius OQ. So diameters PQ equals radius OP plus radius OQ. The length of the diameters of a circle is twice length of its radius. Fourth, chord. A line segment that joins any 2 points on a circle is called a chord. The diameters is also a chord of the circle, but diameter is the longest chord. Infinite number of chords can be drawn in a circle, and the chord of the circle is AB, CD, and EF. Next, arch. An arch of a circle is 2 points on the circle and the continuous part, or on the circumference of the circle between the 2 points. The 2 points bonds are called the endpoints of the arch. From the circle, we can find a semicircle which are KML, KNL, and KPL. Also a meter arch, which are km, mn, and nl, and the last is major arch, which are kmp, kpn, and nlk. Next, apodem. The perpendicular distance from the midpoint of a chord to circle's center is called an apodem. Apodem from this circle is OC. Next, segment. A segment is a region bounded by a chord of circle and the intercepted arch of the circle. Segment from this circle is the shade region KML, and the last part of circle is sector. A sector is a region contained by two radii and an arch. Sector from this circle is the shade region POQ. For example, we will identify some parts of the circle. First, the name of the circle is circle F. All the radii are FA, FB, FC, and FD. All the diameters are AB and CD. All the chords are AB, CD, and D. All arch are ABD, SCD, CED, and AB. And all the apodem is only FG. Don't forget the segment is the shade region DAA, and the last is sector. So the sector is the shade region BFC. Formulas that we use to calculate circumference and area are so important that you should really memorize them. To help you do that, we're going to look at them side by side that will help you see their similarities and their differences, so you don't get them mixed up. The formula for finding the circumference is circumference equals P times diameters. And just like most formulas, we use abbreviation C for circumference and D for diameter. So that's a pretty simple formula. It tells us that if we know the diameter of a circle, all we have to do is multiply that diameter times the number of P and get the circumference. I will try that formula out in a few minutes, but first let's see the formula for area. Formula for finding the area of a circle is area equals P times radius squared. Again, we can use abbreviations to make it shorter. A for area and R for radius. This is a pretty simple formula too. It tells us that if we know the radius, we just have to square it and then multiply the times P, then get the area. Okay, but what is it mean to square the radius while squaring a number just means multiplying it by itself. For example, 3 squared just means 3 times 3. 5 squared just means 5 times 5, and R squared just means R times R. So a formula is really just area equals P times R, but we write it in the R squared form because it's more compact. And one really important thing to keep in mind is that R squared is not the same thing as 2 times R. That's a common mistake that students make when first learning how to find the area of circle. And if we look carefully at both of our formulas, you'll see why these two formulas have a lot in common in each of them. You're multiplying P by part of the circle if the circumference or the area. In the case of the circumference, you're multiplying P times the diameters, and in the case of the area, you're multiplying P times the radius squared. But do you remember the relationship between the radius and the diameter? Diameter is just 2 times the radius, so we could rewrite our formulas for circumference like this: circumference equals P times 2 times R. Now you see why it's so easy to get confused. To find the circumference, you take the radius and double it, then you multiply by P to get the final answer. But for the area, you don't double the radius, you square it. And that's a very important difference. To help you see the difference in action, let's find both the circumference and the area of the circle using our two formulas. The only things we know about circle is that the radius is 9 meters. Luckily, that's all we need to know. First, we use our formula for circumference. Circumference equal P times diameter. To get the diameter, we take the radius and multiply it by 2. The radius is 9 meters, so 2 times 9 equals 18 meters. After we got the diameter, we multiply that by P to get circumference since this is decimal multiplication. Then 3.14 times 18 meters equals 56.52 meters. It means that the circumference of the circle is 56.52 meters. Alright, now let's find the area using our formula. Area equals P times R squared. We start with the radius, but instead of doubling it, we square it. That means we multiply it by itself. 9 meters times 9 meters equals 81 meters squared. Then we multiply that by 3.14 times 81 meters squared equals 234.34 meters squared. As you can see, the result we get when we square the radius is very different from the result we get when we double, and one of the most important differences with the units of our answer. Tell me, when the radius just gives us the diameter, which is a one-dimensional quantity. So the answer we get from our formula for circumference is all one-dimension quantity. But when we square it, that gives us square units which are two-dimensional. That makes sense because area is always our two-dimensional quantity. Remembering that will help you avoid getting this formula messed up. One that has the radius squared is always for area. Next, we will find circumference of the pizza, which is, we probably know, it is a circle. To do that, we need to know the diameter of the pizza. That turns out to be about 20 inches. To find circumference, we just need to multiply that P times diameter. So 3.14 times 20 inches equals 62.8 inches. Then we will find the area of this pizza. We start by squaring the radius, but the problem didn't give us a radius. They give us the diameter. So we have to calculate the radius from the diameter. Fortunately, that's really easy. The radius is just half of the diameter, so we just need to divide the diameter by 2. 20 inches divided by 2 equals 10 inches for the radius. And now that we know the radius, we need to square it. 10 inches times 10 inches equals 100 inches squared. Next, we just multiply that by P. So 100 times 3.14 equals 314. So the total area of the pizza is 314 square inches. Alright, now we know how to find the circumference and the area of any circle. All you need to do is remember the formulas. Circumference equals P times diameter, and area equals P times radius squared. What is really important to practice using these formulas for yourself. So be sure to try some of the exercise problems. That is the way to really learn math. Thanks for watching. I'm sorry if there is any mistake for me. Don't forget to like, comment, and share this video to all the people in this world. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.